There's like a whole line of fish that's been marinated in the masala and sitting waiting for customers. Firstly, I'm quite blown away by this heavy special seafood thali. Make a start with that crab chilli. Really looking forward to this. Oh, that's so good. I'm quite surprised as to how heavy this fish is. You can see some of that red masala within that rava crumbing. The fish is nice and moist. That's quite a meaty, chunky sort of a fish, quite moist inside. Just want to go for a piece of the pomfret. I've got plenty to taste, so I'll just taste a bit of the tail. That should be enough to give me a sense of what this masala is all about. You can see that masala glistening through the lens. Get a piece of the ladyfish. Get plenty of the rasa. Hi folks, and welcome to another episode of The Review, a brand new show here on Food Lovers TV where it's just you, me and the food. I hope you've caught our previous episodes. In case you haven't, I'm going to link them in the description below. Do post a comment and let me know what you think of this new show. In the first season, we're exploring Bengaluru restaurants from the 90s that were a special outing back then and are still as relevant today. In this city, we have easy access to both coasts, so therefore seafood is always available in plenty, and there are quite a few seafood restaurants that one finds out here. But the earliest of them all is an eatery that began way back in 1982 in Gandhinagar Majestic. Opened by a GSB family with recipes handed down through generations, the restaurant soon became popular for its fresh, homely seafood preparations. And the fact that Hotel Fishland is still going strong 43 years from the time that they first opened doors bears testament to their popularity. Namaskara, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ನೀವು ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್?
ಬಂದಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ನಾನೇ ಕುಕ್.
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರೇನು?
ಗೌರೀಶ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ.
ಗೌರೀಶ್. I walked in just about the time that they were keeping away neatly their fresh seafood that's arrived for the day. And normally in this show, I typically walk directly into the restaurant. I don't go into the kitchen, but just taking a look at all the seafood, all the fresh fish that was going into their refrigerator that will be used in the course of the day prompted me to take a look at the kitchen. There's like a whole line of fish that's been marinated in the masala and sitting waiting for customers. So today's a Tuesday. I'm told it's not going to be a very busy day, but I was quite shocked to see the quantity of fish fry that's waiting for customers today. Sunflower. Kobri ಎಣ್ಣೆ use ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ.
People ask for it, we make it in coconut.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Not everybody likes.
So this is the place that I've visited, and I've also done a show about 5 years ago. That was just after the lockdown, and we were doing our best to help family-run establishments get back on the feet, and that was the initiative, the endeavor then. And I fondly remember my meal from then. So this is one of those places that is very unpretentious. It's a sort of place that tells you it's all about the food. This place has that sort of a vibe that transports you to the distinct vibe of the turn of the last century. After all, this is an eatery that opened in 1982. Even the space, the decor is the sort that's a window to the past. So you've got very simple granite tops, you've got laminated benches to sit on, and if you want a bit of privacy, well, they also have these booths along the window. I suspect this is also the sort of restaurant that gets busy towards the weekends and perhaps a little later in the afternoon. I like places like these which have a compact menu. When you have fewer dishes, I think the quality tends to be a lot better. We've got the thalis. I don't know who orders a veg thali here, but they have a veg thali nonetheless. And then there's a seafood thali. So there's two kinds of limited seafood thalis. Seafood, you obviously can't have it unlimited. And there's also the chicken thali here. So if you don't eat seafood, you've got your chicken thali. There's some biryanis and rice. There's a fish biryani and a prawns biryani. But I think the stars here, going by what I've seen in the kitchen and also what I see on the menu, is definitely the fish. There's the fish gravies, the prawn gravy, the ghee roast, the crab masala. I think last time I tried the crab masala, but what I found today very interesting was they also have a boneless crab preparation as well. I'm quite tempted to get into the crab without getting my hands dirty. So perhaps that's something that we will do. And then you've got the fish fries. The prawn fry, the bangade or the paya fry, surmai, kane, pomfret, the mathi and the silverfish rava. So when it comes to seafood, there's always a range, right? You will never get your seafood supplied at the same price. So the prices will fluctuate. So what's nice here is that they have a range for that seafood. So let's say if it's the bangude, if it's a small size, it's between 160 to 200. Largest 220 to 300. The pomfret 750 all the way up to 1750. So at least you know what the range that you're going to pay in. A lot of places I find they just put APC as per catch. So it gives you no idea really, and you have to embarrassingly ask them what's it going to cost. And the reverse is just the chicken. There's a little corner here. So you've got the omelets, you've got the chili chicken Andhra style, Chinese style, you've got the kori roti. So when you talk about Mangalorean food, it's a very general category. So it could be Mangalorean Bunt cuisine, it could be Mangalorean Christian cuisine, it could be GSB or the Konkani cuisine, and then you also have the cuisine of the Muslims, which is the Bihari cuisine. Out here the food that you get is basically the sort of food that you will find in Konkani or GSB homes. What's also nice here is that it's a typical family run establishment. So the last time around when I came here, I met one of the brothers who began this place, Mr. Vasudev Desai. And today his daughter-in-law is out here with her staff. I think places like these that have stood the test of time, it's also about the people. One is the family that brings a certain continuity to it through generations, and then you've got people who've been there for a very long time. So as I came into the restaurant, I met the chef, and he's the same person I remember from the last time around. And I think that's what lends to the consistency and the overall experience of the place. When you come to places that have been around for a very long time, you go there seeking the familiar. You're not going there to experiment, you go there because there is something in that place, a particular dish that nourishes you, comforts you, almost cradles you. And I'm hoping that this 90s restaurant spotlight in the first season of the review helps many of you out there revisit some of these eateries that have been a witness to the change that Bengaluru has seen over the decades. Well, we've got all the preparations that we ordered for. Firstly, I'm quite blown away by this heavy special seafood thali. What does it have? So it's got one paye, which is basically a fish which I'm told is a slightly poorer cousin of the pomfret. It's a sea fish. And then we have a kane, what's also known as the nogli in the fish curry. We've got the boiled rice, of course. We've got some sol curry, rasam, yogurt in that. And then we've got our dishes on the side. Well, I've ordered a medium-sized pomfret here, nicely coated in that masala. I also have a ghee roast, prawn ghee roast. And what I'm really looking forward to tasting is the boneless crab chilli. It's not the boneless crab that comes out of a plastic pack. They get the fresh crab and then they deshell it and they make a chili preparation with it. So that's what I'm going to be trying. And of course, there's also some buttermilk to cool things down as you start your meal. But then you also have the sol curry, which is basically the kokum with some coconut milk and spices. There's a hint of sweet, perhaps from the jaggery, and also sprigs of coriander. I need to organize this table a bit because there are far too many dishes. When you come here, you will perhaps not go overboard like me. But I want to taste these dishes just so that I can tell you what a meal here at Fishland is all about. Where do I begin? You know, that's the challenge. When you have plenty on your table, you don't know where to begin. Make a start with that crab chili. Really looking forward to this. Oh, that's so good. The slightly saline sweetness of the crab, that juicy, very moist crab that I'm biting into. There's some onions in there, flecks of green chili that I'm tasting, not just in its texture but also in the heat. This is so good. They've made all the effort, extract all that meat and then toss it in that masala. So if you're somebody who's squeamish, who's worried about eating crab because you need to break the shell, crack the shell, get your hands dirty, well, I love doing that, but for a change I thought this would be nice. So good. Love that fleshy bite of the onion and also flecks of coconut that I'm tasting in that. That's delicious. That's a nice moist morsel of crab meat, some coconut and some onions with slivers of green chili. If you love your crab, certainly a dish to try. So when it comes to your thali, you get the basic fries, you get the basic gravies. I think the last time around on my thali, I had a piece of the anjal, but today they have the paye. I'm told the English name for which is the silver biddy. It's a sea fish. I'm quite surprised as to how heavy this fish is. I guess also in a thali, they serve up varieties that are more economical. You can see some of that red masala within that rava crumbing. The fish is nice and moist. That's quite a meaty, chunky sort of a fish, quite moist inside. What I also like is the fineness of their rava coating. They use the chiroti rava, which is the finer rava. That lends to a very fine sort of a crumbing. That's a tasty fish, but what's happened is that I have already tasted the crab chili, and that's way ahead in terms of its flavor punch as opposed to this. So therefore, it feels a little subdued. But I guess for the thali, I think it's certainly a fish that fits in the overall scheme of things. That fish is fresh, flaky in its freshness. I'm told this is also called the poor man's pomfret because it resembles in shape to the pomfret, not though in flavor of course. On that note, we should make tracks for that pomfret. So this is a medium-sized pomfret, as you can see in its size. Just want to go for a piece of the pomfret. I've got plenty to taste, so I'll just taste a bit of the tail. That should be enough to give me a sense of what this masala is all about. You can see that masala glistening through the lens. Plenty of the thick masala, the marinade that's holding on to the fish. I somehow find that the fish is not as flaky as I would have expected it to be. It seems to be a bit weighed down by that masala. Normally when you're tasting some fish, you want it to be flaky in its freshness, but this one doesn't quite feel so. There's a thick coat of that masala. The flavor and the texture of the fish just surrendered to that masala. Also, that skin is a tad soggy. I would have liked it to be a little crisp. This didn't do it for me. I want to reach back for some of that paye, the silver biddy, just to reacquaint my palate with what a nice flaky, weighty piece of fish fry should be all about. I'm a big fan of the manner in which they crumb the fish. You know, sometimes you have a rava fry somewhere. The rava fry coat is so thick that you're tasting more of that and less of the fish. But out here, they've got their ratios just right. That rava coat is just enough to coat the fish without really getting in the way of you tasting the texture or flavor of the fish. It's also a fish that offers terrific value on this thali. The prawn ghee roast. Plenty of tuppa that I see floating around the prawn. So the prawns here are the medium-sized prawns coated in that lush nape of that ghee roast. A bit of sweetness that I'm tasting in that, a bit of the sourness that perhaps comes from some tamarind that goes into it, and then the heat, the warmth of the byadgi mensankai. This is also a dish that will do very well with the neer dosai. The masala is a sort that is rather well balanced. So among the dishes that I've tasted thus far, I think my top pick would be between that boneless crab chili or that paye rava fry. followed very closely by that ghee roast. Now that I've tasted a few prawns, I can feel the heat of that chili. You know, that's interesting, right? When you start a dish, you're tasting a certain character, a certain attribute of the dish, but as you relish it, as you eat more of it, you find other traits in that dish. And now it's the heat of the chili at the tip of my tongue. Well, time now for some busy Anna. I asked them to give me a portion of the hot rice because by the time I tasted everything else, spoke to you at length, well, the Anna had cooled down. I had to cheat a bit and order for a fresh portion of the boiled rice, just so that I can eat that khane curry bisi. Get a piece of the ladyfish, get plenty of the rasa. So because this is part of the thali, the size of the khane will be modest. Don't expect those plump, big sasthan specimens. I suppose they have that too, but if you order it a la carte. A very gentle, soothing sort of a khane curry. I think the GSB curries are the sort that are quite gentle, that are quite mild. And that khane too, the ladyfish, as it's appropriately called, is rather gentle in its harmony with the curry. Don't expect too much by way of fireworks on the palate. I think this is the sort of fish curry rice that rounds off a meal here. I'm also tasting a bit of that slightly earthy sort of a flavor that comes from the khane. So the khane is a fish that's usually found in the estuary where the river meets the sea, and you taste a bit of that character, that soil in that khane. A slight mild flavor in that khane. Always nice to meet food lovers, and even as I'm almost at the end of my meal, every single table at Fishland is taken. I think now is also a good time to introduce some of that prawn ghee roast to my rice and fish curry. I want to draw some of that ghee roast. I want to draw some of that ghee roast masala into the rice just to perk things up. Now that curry has acquired a slight tart character. You know, there's a reason why places like these are this popular. You come here with that fish curry in mind, that fish fry or that rava fry, and for the most part, that's what you will get.
Very nice food.
Nice food. You like it?
I like it.
You come here regularly? Yeah? Weekly once?
Once.
For how many years have you been coming?
25 years.
Wow, fantastic. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Well, there you go. People have been coming here for the last 10 years, 20, 25 years. For some people, it's like a religion. It's like how you go to a temple once a week. Well, you come to Hotel Fishland once a week. Just a bit of that onion to refresh my palate a bit before I dive back to some more of that Anna Saru. I would have done this with a rasam, but that very mild-mannered Saru with that gently flavored ladyfish is also the sort that lends well to drowning your rice in. The boiled rice. The ukde shet, as they would call it in Konkani. Initially when I tasted it, I was tasting it on the back of that crab chili, on the back of that ghee roast, that masala and the fish fry. So that fish curry seemed rather mild. But now, as I am soaking myself quite literally in that fish curry, I can now detect its slightly, gently warming punch.
Can I disturb you? Yeah, I know, I see that. My name is Jagdish.
Nice to meet you. Sorry, I'm giving you my left hand. Have you finished?
The right place. I come here every year.
Yeah, every year?
Yeah, once a year.
Where do you come from?
I live in the Caribbean, the West Indies.
Wow. You must be getting plenty of good fish there too?
Yeah, lots. We get very good fish.
Yeah?
Lobsters, yeah. We get everything there.
Fantastic.
But
Eh?
this is my favorite.
This is your favorite?
Yeah, yeah. Every year. It's like coming going to a temple every day.
Really? That's what I just said. I said to a lot of people, they probably come here once a week or probably twice in a month. It's like a temple visit, right?
Yeah, for me it's the same thing. This one, Fishland, MTR is a must. Temple visit.
So every year.
Pilgrimage. Food leaves a lingering taste in your memory.
That's right. So nice to meet you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
See
No
you.
problem. Enjoy your meal.
Thank you.
I'll see myself on YouTube now.
Yes, you will. Well, wonderful. I met this gent, Mr. Jagdish Amarnani, who grew up in Bengaluru, was born and raised here, but lives now overseas. But every year when he returns to Bengaluru, he says visiting Fishland is like a visit, is like a ritual akin to visiting a temple. And I can see why. Well, nice to meet plenty of food lovers here. I lost my kane somewhere in the midst of those selfies. It's always nice to go to places like these that have been around for a very long time. People have literally grown up through these places. The young man that I met here, perhaps his mom brought him here when he was little, and that's a memory that still continues. I think what also happens in places like these, when you go back, you're not just enjoying the meal, but I think it also connects you to the good old memories of yesteryear. So if I were to rank all the dishes that I tasted, for me number one would definitely be that boneless crab chilli. I never thought I'd say that, but certainly hit that spot. Followed in equal measure by the paella fish fry and also that gentle fish curry, and then the ghee roast. The pomfret for me seemed a little weighed down by that masala. I was really looking forward to that pomfret, but it didn't really work its magic for me today. Nice to meet you. I must tell you, this is a sort of place that gets extremely crowded. So there's not a single table that's available right now. So if you want to come here and don't want to be a part of that crowd, get here early. I'm just waiting for the bill so I can vacate this table for the people who are waiting. Well, the bill is here. So we have the special Thali, which is 430 rupees. Actually, the last time around when I came here, which was 5 years ago, I think I paid around, if memory serves me right, somewhere in the 320, 330 region. So I think it's gone up only by 100 rupees in 5 years. That's quite something. The pomfret fry is about 800. The prawn ghee roast is 500. The crab chilli is 800. I guess there's many crabs that go in to extract that meat. So all the dishes that I tasted for about 2,000 rupees. And I guess this is sort of food that would happily feed 3 or 4 people. Well, that's it for our mean uta here at Hotel Fishland in Gandhinagar. If you fancy a good, homely GSB Konkani style seafood, definitely find your way here. I thoroughly enjoyed the special fish meal and also that crab chilli, that boneless crab chilli, and also the ghee roast. I think most of the dishes that you find here, you can't really go wrong with them. I hope you enjoyed this watch. If you are new to the channel and haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe and hit the bell to stay notified of all episodes. And if you've been around with us for a while and haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. It really makes a difference to the work that we do. I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Thank you.